Hey everyone, Minutia Minute here, coming at you guys with a quick impromptu Wednesday new comic book day haul video. Yes, something you never see on my channel. Obviously, I always do the Tuesday This Week in Batman, where I talk about the new Batman books I picked up. But I wanted to do a Wednesday new comic book day video to talk about another book that came out today that I'm really excited about. So as you guys know, I've pretty much switched completely into trade paperbacks, and the only thing I read in singles is Batman, which is why you get weekly Batman videos as opposed to other titles I'm interested in, because those end up getting put on the back burner for about 6 months, and then I read them after everybody's kind of done talking about them. Now, while I know I've said that I've sold off my comic book collection and all I've kept is Batman, everything else is in trade, I've said that multiple times in the past, it's actually only a half truth. There are a couple of other series that I am still actively collecting or have kept collected. One of those is X-Wing Rogue Squadron, which I have a complete set of. I'll probably do a video on them at some point in the future. I know there's a Rogue Squadron movie coming out, so I'll probably do something in the far-flung future when that movie finally hits theaters. It's just a series that I have that's been put to bed, and it sits on my shelf with the rest of my Star Wars trade paperbacks. Another series I'm not finished with is the 70s Star Wars Marvel comic book series. I would like to have all of those in singles. I actually have a really big chunk of them. It's just not a series that I'm like actively working on right now, just because Star Wars prices are stupid. Like, there's no point. I might as well wait. People will get bored of it at some point. I do actually have pretty much all of the key issues from that series. I have like, I don't know, probably 1 through 30 unbroken. I've got the first appearance of Boba Fett. I have all the sort of low print run issues towards the end of the series. It's really just filling in gaps, and there's no point in working on that while prices are the way they are. So you don't really hear me talk about that series. Now, there's 2 other series, not Star Wars or Batman related, that I have kept, and both of which actually happen to be actively in print again. So one of those is Saga, which I have elected not to talk about because I'm really behind in it. And I actually haven't picked up all of the new issues. I have issue 55. I have to circle back and at some point grab whatever 56 through 58, whatever we're on now. But those are sort of largely on the back burner for me. I actually read those in trade. I've just elected to keep holding on to my singles because my wife really loves that series, and it's just something we shared together. As it was coming out, she was hooked on it from issue 1, and at the time she wasn't even a comic book reader, so I've held on to that series for sentimental reasons. I had actually considered talking about those issues on a monthly basis when they started coming out again, but I was kind of busy at the time and the moment kind of passed me by. But the last series, which I'm here to talk about today, is the hot new title. Hopefully everyone's going to be talking about it in their videos today because it's a fantastic series, and is a series that, while I have the majority of the set, I'm only actually missing the last 30 issues of the run. It's a big enough series where, like, I've started it, stopped it, and then started over, and then sort of stopped it, and so I've never actually gotten through the whole thing, and so I want to make a point of talking about this on a semi-weekly, monthly basis on the channel, because I want to finally get through the entire series of Fables. So I have an unbroken run, issue 1, which you see here. I have the Alex Maleev cover, all the way up through issue 119. This is a series that, it came out in 2002, so it was right on the cusp of when I was starting to get into comic books, and so Fables was like always front and center. It was the hot new book, and I was really into it. I read the first, 20, 30, 40 issues, whatever, and then I kept buying it, but I fell behind, I dropped off, and then my interest in it got reactivated with my wife, actually, because I thought she would like it. So I bought her the first trade paperback, and then we started reading through the series together, and I basically got 30, 40 issues in, and then I just got distracted with other things. You guys know how it goes, right? I did go to Half Price Books and filled in a whole bunch of issues that I was missing, and basically got a complete run up to the point where I had sort of left off for the second time. So that got me through issue 119, and I have not gone back to it since then. It's something that's just kind of been on the back burner on my list, but since it's another, inactive series, there's not really been, anything prompting me to make a point of going out and getting those issues, right? But now, after a 6-issue miniseries, Batman vs. Bigby, which I am looking forward to reviewing for you guys very soon. I'm almost finished with it. I have 1 issue left to read, and then I'll certainly hop on a camera and talk about it because I have some thoughts. DC has decided to bring back the Fables saga, and I think that this is a really cool idea, not just because I love Fables, but because we're not starting with issue 1. This isn't a relaunch, none of that comic book marketing gimmick stuff. We're just jumping right in with issue 151. I have had a chance to read this book. I sat down, gave it a read. I was like, you know, I'm not going to know what's going on in here, but let's just see what happens. And I'll tell you what, this is not exactly new reader friendly. If you're familiar with the series, you'll certainly recognize the wonderful Mark Buckingham artwork. You'll know some of the key characters, key concepts, some of the events that took place towards the end of the series are front and center in this issue, and they certainly pay it lip service, but for the most part, you're just kind of expected to hop in and catch up, which to be honest was actually really refreshing. I get that it's not new reader friendly, and I certainly don't want it to be like a gatekeeping kind of a thing, but I appreciate when, you know, they do it for the fans. They don't necessarily make it easy, but if you want to get into it, all the pieces are there. Like, it's designed for you to jump aboard and just start learning as you read. And that was a huge part of the fun of comic books when I was getting into it, because, you know, there weren't a zillion different number ones out there for you to go read. You just had to climb aboard and, you know, figure out what was a good enough starting point for you, maybe pick up a couple back issues and just start teaching yourself. And if you were inclined to do so, then it was really rewarding. And it's so cool to see DC doing that here with Fables 151. This truly is a relic of the past in the best way possible. So I was excited enough after reading this that I went back to the comic book shop and managed to snag the foil Fables cover, which unfortunately isn't really going to come through probably on the video, but all the sort of gold highlights come through in a really unique way on this cover. Even though it's the same cover, the foil makes a huge difference. I would highly recommend grabbing this if you can find it. And then I popped over to the back issue section and grabbed my first back issue of Fables that I've picked up in, I mean, literally 5-6 years probably, and that is the mammoth Fables 150. Which doubled as the 22nd trade paperback in the series. It's got this wonderful, sentimental trifold cover with just a zillion characters on it. I'll try and show that off for you guys. It's kind of hard to show off because it's, you know, the heavier cardboard stock, so it doesn't open up quite, you know, the way you would want it to. It does actually fold on the front as well, but that just has a list of creators, which, by the way, what a stack of creators they had on Fables 150 here. I mean, this might be one of the most incredible single issues of a comic book that has ever been published by anyone, in my opinion. This literally beats out like a Detective Comics 1000 or Action Comics 1000. Like, they pulled out every stop for this final issue / trade paperback of Fables. So yeah, basically, I know that's kind of a quick ramble, but I just wanted to share this pickup and just celebrate the return of Fables, because even though I haven't read the whole series, so you can't call me like a true Fables fan necessarily, I have a tremendous amount of sentimentality for it because, you know, I got into it right when I was getting into comic books, and then it was a major part in how I got my wife into comic books, and it's just kind of been in and out of my life in key moments. So this video is sort of partially intended as a nostalgic ramble, but then also kind of an announcement, because I think it would be fun to take you on the journey of picking up my final issues, reading through the whole Fables saga, and kind of taking you on that journey with me. So in the future, be sure to look out for videos that I'm going to call Fables Fridays. So it's not necessarily going to be every single Friday, but Friday will be the Fables day. So as I have Fables content to share with you guys, I'm going to be putting together videos and putting those out for you guys on Friday. And if you're someone who wasn't necessarily into Fables when it was new, or you've heard of it and never gotten into it, hopefully we'll learn something together. So did you pick up Fables 151? Are you excited for it? Do you think they should have started over with issue 1, made it a little bit more new reader friendly? Or are they going about this the right way? Let me know down in the comments below, and be sure to look out for future Fables Friday videos. Thanks for watching this video, and I hope you guys have a great week in comics. Take care.